Hi, this is Greg Bufithis, the founder and chairman of Project Counsel. I'm here this week at LegalTech New York 2011, and I've been having a good time interviewing an awful lot of people. Yesterday we interviewed the keynote speaker, Gonzalo de Serra, and today we have with us two individuals from ZyLAB, who sponsored the speech and sponsored Mr. Gonzalo, and actually has a little bit more to say about that. I'm joined today with Jan Scholtes, who is the founder of ZyLAB and also its chief strategy officer, as well as Mary Mack, who is the, as I understand it, Mary, you are the...
Enterprise Technology Counsel.
Thank you.
Yes,
Sorry for that
indeed.
little slip up. I want to start out, Jan, by, if you might, give us an overview. There's so many things ZyLAB does. We spent a full day Friday in Amsterdam before LegalTech discussing things with your whole team. Can you give us an overall arc of what it is ZyLAB does?
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, we've been around for more than 25 years now. We were founded in 1983, and our business has always been very closely to what we do today. We've always been developing software to help people to find what they're looking for, or to help them to find if they didn't know exactly what they're looking for. And this software was designed from the start for lawyers, for intelligence, for law enforcement officers, compliance officers, and also by people out of that business. And we've always focused on that. We've done a lot of different things, but the focus is really on searching, finding more relevant information than anybody else by using a variety of technology, but also using this technology to optimize several processes. And one of the processes where we add tremendous value is, of course, the e-discovery process. It's a very process-driven problem. And by using advanced technology, we can make the whole process so much easier and so much faster. And also we do it in a very defensible way, because one of the big advantages of ZyLAB technology is that we've been around for such a long time. There's a lot of case law about our technology being used in cases like the Oklahoma bombing. FBI used it in the Enron case. It's been used, as you heard yesterday, by Gonzalo in all of the war crimes tribunals. And that really helps corporate customers and government customers and other customers and law firms that use our technology to refer to this case law and show that it's not like something new, but it's something that's been out there, it's understandable, it's defensible. And especially our content analytics and text mining really helps us to differentiate ourselves and make some huge changes in how parts of the e-discovery process can be done.
Yeah, I wanted to focus on that for a bit. Either one of you can jump into this. What's always intrigued me about ZyLAB is, as you said, your advanced technology. I mean, text analytics, text mining, geolocation, if I remember, but your multi-language capability, which obviously is the key. You guys want to jump in on any one or all of those subjects?
Well, what I always tell people is, for me, English is a foreign language. And this is why from the start, when we designed the products already in the 90s, the architecture was designed in such a way that it was very easy not only to translate the products, but also to make the software work with different languages. And at this moment we support a little over more than 400 languages. And we're spending a lot of time. We have a special group of developers that's constantly optimizing all of our new technology for all of these different languages. And it's a huge differentiator. As you saw yesterday with Gonzalo with his screenshots in Khmer, the Cambodian language, it took us only 48 hours with help of people from Cambodia to translate the interface, to actually realize that interface. And it's a big differentiator. The world is flat, and the globalization is everywhere. Because of outsourcing and globalization, a lot of data that's related to e-discovery is these days only available in Chinese, Korean, Japanese, German, French, Eastern Europe, Russian, Arabic, and it's very important to support all these different languages.
Well, Greg, you have reviewers that review in many different languages, and so this is the localization ability of our interface, and our website would allow your reviewers to understand exactly what they're doing. And not just reviewers, but the attorneys in-house at your international clients would be able to do early case assessment, understanding
Exactly.
what the tool is doing without having to mentally translate from the English.
And we've talked about having, as you know, I'm going back to Amsterdam, based in Brussels, going back to Amsterdam next week to meet with your staff and get some demos. And we've talked about having some WebExes so that people can get some more hands-on. One expertise you have, Mary, obviously, is this boogeyman for Americans, which is EU data privacy, et cetera. How it's handled. Just give me an overview or some thoughts.
Well, as you know from Monique's posts, your privacy officer's posts, being able to handle personally identifiable information is a core requirement in the EU and in many other countries. So the ZyLAB software that Jan and team has developed was developed from the ground up to be able to handle that requirement. So not only is it easy to find personally identifiable information with something that they call entity extraction, and where you may not know the names, you may not know the addresses, but you can have a category called name, and a category called address, and a category called bank account number, and then you're able to bulk redact those with a transparent redaction for attorney quality control, and create a log automatically with something called an exemption code or a privilege code or something like that. So this is technology that's been available for what, 4 years now?
Oh yeah.
But you haven't told anybody about it yet, and so we're very grateful
and you're
for
telling
you
them now,
to.
so.
Well, we developed this primarily
Yes.
for the UN, for some Washington customers, people with very high standards and very high requirements for redaction. As Gonzalo told yesterday, if something goes wrong with redactions in the UN, it could put the lives from witnesses at stake. We've always developed this technology, but we didn't realize it was that important in US e-discovery until Mary told us. And actually it was very interesting here at LegalTech because we had tremendous interest from lawyers and law firms in our redaction technology. There were several people coming down to our booth and I wanted to see everything about redaction.
That was, I mean, we before LegalTech, we had attended the IQPC event, which you were aware of in Munich, and redaction there was actually a brainweave session, as they call them, brainweave session focused on redaction. And it was a 45-minute conversation. And the amazing thing was ZyLAB. That was a name that popped up. And because, as we said before, we're in a marketplace where advanced technology is the key. And you guys obviously have kind of honed in on that and developed that. As most of our viewers will know, we'll have a lot of more follow-up about you guys. Mary, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that, when we talk about processing these days, the generic processing is to take PSTs and Office files, normalize them, index them, and put them up for review. And what we're doing is we're adding a couple of things to what you would call processing, and that is the allowing legal teams to have pre-redacted material before they get into the review that your folks might do, and then also to be able to search on OCR documents in line without having to have a separate step to put them back at the beginning of the process and go all the way through. And that's the other thing is your clients needed to have the information like right now and very thoroughly, and they couldn't miss anything. So he's got the OCRs not only going this way, he's got them going this way and that way, and then if they're skewed, he's got them straightening out. Multiple languages on one page, and it's all included in what we call processing. So it's no longer generic and more commodity.
No, and what's happened to us, I mean, obviously as Project Counsel, we staff subjective reviews all throughout Europe, and language has always been the boogeyman, so to speak. And we found that we've used, through our various client bases, both corporations and law firms, I think anyway, we've used advanced technology probably to a much higher extent that they have even in the States, because they've recognized the technology. Much of the technology is developed in Europe. This actually takes me to my last question, because I know you guys are on a very tight time frame. What are we looking for? What should we focusing on for ZyLAB in 2011? Is that too open of a question? Or?
No. I think I told you we do a lot of different things, and law enforcement, compliance, and e-discovery are the main three topics that we're very good at. What we see is that a lot of our law enforcement customers, like the European Commission, a lot of investigations, internal fraud, but also antitrust investigations, are all done with ZyLAB software. Almost all of the European law enforcement, tax authorities, anti-cartel, regulatory authorities use our software, and they generate a lot of leads for us because whenever they do a dawn raid, we see that a lot of companies need similar technology to defend themselves, and they call for help from their law firms. A lot of law firms and forensic accountants in Europe all use ZyLAB, so we see a lot of momentum there, a lot of organic growth, and what we really want to do in 2011 is bring this similar situation to the U.S.
All this technology is applicable to the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, our own antitrust, patent, the ability to find things.
Early case assessments.
Exactly, and then the UK Bribery Act, and at this taping, they've just delayed it a couple of months.
Correct.
But that's also something
that's putting a lot of U.S. companies.
Great concern.
Well, it's kind of interesting you mentioned the dawn raids because, as you know, Project Counsel, we do mock dawn raids to help corporations practice, and we've been building out a base for clients with respect to technology. And one of the things we're going to try to do, obviously, is adapt ZyLAB technology to that, so they know, okay, this is how we do it. This is the technology to use. I mean, the European marketplace and the European for this industry is very, very different than in the States. So you're able to do a lot of this because obviously you've got EU institutions that have police power. Bang on your door at 5:30 in the morning, take all your laptops, and you're out the door. Something that you're rarely, if ever, going to see the DOJ or the SEC. So it's a whole different level. In any event, we could probably chat about this for all day, and I really appreciate your time, and thank you for joining us, and we'll be looking forward for more information from you in the coming year.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks, Greg.
This is Greg Bufithis, the chairman and founder of Project Counsel. I just finished a great conversation with Mary and Johannes, and we look forward to reporting more in the coming year.